Okay, section 5.3, non-parallel lines and transversals. Okay, so this section is all about two lines that are not parallel, so they will eventually meet, and a transversal. Okay, so a line that intersects or crosses over two other lines at distinct points is referred to as a transversal. Okay, so if we are looking at the diagram below, we would have line 1, line 2, and then a transversal that I mark with T. Okay, so as you can see, that one line passes through line 1 and line 2 at one distinct point on each line. Okay, so next I'm going to go through and I'm going to label my angles because they need to be labeled for the next section of these notes. Okay, so make sure you label yours as well so that when you're going through your notes, it makes sense what we wrote in. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, so now that those are labeled, we're going to keep moving on. So I'm not going to leave it showing considering you can see it on your notes. So if we are looking at the diagram, we have 4 pairs of what are called corresponding angles. Okay, and these are just 2 angles that occupy the same relative position at 2 different intersections. So for example, angle A to angle E, angle B to angle F, angle C to angle G, and angle D to angle H, because they are all in the same relative position at their corresponding intersections. Okay, the next one we have 4 pairs of are vertically opposite angles. Okay, and these are angles created by intersecting lines that only share a vertex. So they're kind of like on opposite sides of an X. Okay, so these would be angle A to angle D, angle B to angle C, angle E to angle H, and angle F to angle G. Okay. If at any point this video is going too fast, pause it, fill in your notes, and then keep going. Okay, the next type of angles are alternate interior, and there are 2 pairs of these. Okay, and these are angles in opposite positions between 2 lines, intersected by a transversal and also on alternate sides of the same transversal. Okay, so they're on the inside of the 2 lines on opposite sides of the transversal. So that would be angle D and angle E, and then angle F and angle C. It does not matter which way you have it, whether you have angle C to angle F or angle F to angle C, as long as the pair is together. Okay. The last type of angles that you need to know and be able to identify are 2 pairs of alternate exterior angles. Okay. And these are very similar to alternate interior angles in that they are on the opposite sides of a transversal, but instead of being on the inside, now they are on the outside. So this would be angle A to angle H, and angle B to angle G. Okay, so moving on. Then you also have two pairs of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. There is no fancy word for this, they're just interior angles on the same side of the line that cuts through. So that would be angle D to angle F, and angle C to angle E. And then the same thing to the two pairs of exterior angles on the same side. There's no fancy name for it, they're just exterior angles on the same side of the transversal. That would be your angle A to angle G, and angle B to angle H. Okay, to get more practice with labeling angles and measuring angles, please try numbers 1 to 3 from Build Your Skills on page 233 to 234. Pause the video, complete those questions, and then come back to the video and keep moving on. Okay. So when we are talking about angles, angles can also be measured using a protractor to determine whether two angles are of the same measure. Okay, so if we are using a protractor, I'm going to label my angles. Let's do them this way this time. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, so if I'm using my protractor, I'm going to be able to identify that there are 4 pairs of angles that are equal to each other within their pair. So the first pair that I'm going to identify as equal is angle A equals angle C. So I've used my protractor, I've measured them, and I've determined that they equal 118 degrees. All right, the next pair that I'm going to notice are equal is angle B equals angle D, which is equal to 62 degrees. Your measurements might be a degree or two off, and that is okay. It does not have to be exact, as I know it can be tricky when the lines don't cross over the numbers on the outside quite so nicely. Okay, so that is the first one for the first intersection. I will do the second intersection in green. So you have angle E equals angle G equals 52 degrees. And then you have angle F equals angle H, which is equal to 128 degrees. Okay, one thing you should notice, so angle A equals angle C, angle B equals angle D, okay, angle E equals angle G, and angle F equals angle H. Okay, what type of angles are these that share only the vertex? So these are all what are called they're vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles are always equal to each other. Okay. So that is all for 5.3. So you have Build Your Skills numbers 4 and 6 on page 235, 236. And then you have the Practice Your Skills on page 236 to 238, numbers 1 to 5. Let me know if you need help or if you feel like you need a little bit more practice with these questions before you move on to the Practice Your Skills.